You can now get a 30-day trial to experience The Athletic for free. Visit the link in the description below to try it now.
Hello and welcome to Tifo IRL. I'm Alex, I'm an analyst at Tifo. Today we're going to be looking at Paris Saint-Germain and talking about whether Lionel Messi, Neymar and Kylian Mbappe can actually effectively function together. So it may seem like there is an obvious answer to this question if you get some of the world's best players, and let's be honest, Lionel Messi, Neymar and Kylian Mbappe would be in pretty much anyone's top 5 in the world. Surely these players can function together. What's really interesting with PSG though is that if you look at their goals for and against, the 300 odd minutes where all three of those players have been on the pitch at the same time, they are scoring 1.2 goals per 90 and they are conceding 1.2 goals per 90. If you look at it when not all of those three players are on the same pitch, so it may be two of them, it may be one of them, they're actually scoring at a rate of 2.2 goals per 90 and conceding at only 0.7. So basically, they're a whole goal and a half better per game without that vaunted three together than with them all together. So why is this? Now they've only played 300 minutes together and they've played about 850 not together. So we are going off a fairly small sample size, and obviously, you know, it takes time to integrate players and so on, but there are some key and obvious reasons why things aren't clicking at this point. First of all, we're going to look at attack and then we'll look at defense. So, attack. Now, Lionel Messi, very good at football. Neymar, very good at football. Kylian Mbappe, also very good at football. What's the problem? The problem is kind of this. If you look at this lineup here, this is how they played against Rennes at the weekend. And Kylian Mbappe obviously is playing up here. Neymar's looking to find this sort of space here. Angel Di Maria is here. And Messi's occupying the 10 slot. So far, so good. The problem comes with these players' inherent kind of predilections towards movement. So I'll explain what I mean by that. Messi likes to drift. As somebody who was kind of a conductor at Barcelona, through whom a lot of play went, he's dropping off here and he's wanting to connect passes, maybe looking to switch here if the fullback's overlapping or if Neymar's dropping off. He then sort of breaks into that slow saunter that Messi has, where he's then moving up into a more dangerous position here, still very slowly, still in that way that he does that doesn't attract attention, doesn't attract defenders, before bursting forwards up into the box. Now that's all well and good, except here you also have Marco Verratti, who wants to occupy a similar kind of space. Here you also have Angel Di Maria, who likes to drop off and play these long crossfield passes like this to switch with his left foot and move the ball round before he bursts up. So straight away you've got an issue that Messi, who is somebody who wants all the play to go through him a lot of the time, and is also somebody to whom his teammates will naturally look because he is this incredible footballer, is starting to occupy similar positions to where some of the other PSG players want to be. Another problem that you have is the kind of players that Neymar and Mbappe are. So what Mbappe wants to do is also drop off a little bit here, which maybe conflicts with Messi in the 10 spot, but let's say that Messi's back here a little bit, that's fine. Di Maria's holding the width, Neymar's here. Mbappe wants to draw his centre-backs forwards by linking play up so that he can then spin around and attack these sorts of corridors. So he's either going to attack round here like this, or he's going to attack directly this way. Neymar, ideally, if he's playing in a slightly wider position, which accommodates Messi in the 10 slot, he wants space to run at this player here because he wants to be able to dribble. So he actually doesn't want this defender coming too far forwards because he wants to go around the outside or come in and attack this channel. Mbappe really, in this sort of setup, wants to be playing deeper here so that Messi has got this space here to attack, maybe by playing little 1-2s with Di Maria, so he will attack this space here, then move into here like this, and then he can look to release. But Mbappe's natural game is not to be the sort of player who pushes defenders back and back and back, because he needs to have room to accelerate into. Also, Mbappe likes to peel off into this slot. And this happened against Rennes a couple of times, where him and Neymar are effectively looking to occupy the same sort of position. Now that arose, or problems arose from that in one instance specifically, because they were actually going for the same bouncing ball trying to shoot. But again, you have this kind of clustering of players here and here. Let's get rid of these arrows because we'll make it a little bit more clear. These players' natural attacking patterns suggest that they want to occupy similar sorts of areas. You know, Verratti likes to push forwards and orchestrate play from this area. It also allows him to press higher, defend more aggressively. But look, Messi's here too, Di Maria's here too. So unless these players are going to start doing things that are not naturally what they want to do, or play maybe with a little bit more discipline and stick in this spot here and stick in this spot here, it's going to be hard for them to string stuff together. Now, obviously, the caveat to this is that these are all exceptionally talented players, and every so often they will bring bits of play together, you know, instinctive back heels and running off the ball and creating opportunities, the kind of stuff that you can't necessarily coach, that just comes from being really, really good. And also in the case of Messi and Neymar, having that pre-existing relationship. And that will get goals for PSG. Obviously it will, because these players are fantastic. But from a systematic point of view, it's not necessarily the easiest fit. Now, there is another way of doing it, of course. If we drop Di Maria to the bench, which feels kind of unfortunate, and bring in maybe more of a ball winner here like Herrera, Messi out here on this side, Verratti can kind of play on one side here like this. Then we have maybe a slightly more natural system. Messi's drifting into this space here where he operates well. Mbappe can drop off, but maybe a little bit to there. Neymar can look round, but the crucial guy here is Hakimi, because then what you can get is this more sort of natural 3-2-5 system. But if you're doing that, you're sacrificing either Angel Di Maria, who's really good and defensively more effective, which we'll come on to in a little bit, or you're sacrificing one of the three. And in that case, which one goes? Is it the blistering pace and close control and dribbling of Mbappe? Is it Neymar and his trickery and his eye for space? Or is it Messi, still arguably the world's greatest player? So that's the conundrum that Pochettino has to solve. The natural system for them here means that somebody misses out, even though you do end up getting the best from Hakimi, and you probably end up getting a lot more from the others. So now let's have a quick look at defense. Okay, so now we're going to have a quick look at defense. And as I've said, PSG are conceding half a goal a game more with this front three on the pitch than they are without. There's a couple of obvious problems here. Firstly, the way PSG look to generally press is they'll move into sort of a 4-4-2 system like this. Now, Di Maria is really good at this. Messi is not. Messi strolls around, he wants to find space, he doesn't want to really actively engage in a counter press. What that does is if the first line of here is bypassed, that naturally sucks Di Maria in, because Messi's not dropping back and counter pressing here at all. Verratti wants to push up, but he also knows that's going to isolate Gay on his own there, which is not ideal. So Verratti has to hang back a little bit. That automatically robs PSG of some of their aggression. What it also does, if Di Maria is sucked in here, and this fullback is pushing up aggressively, is it isolates Hakimi, or whoever the right back is, and creates an ocean of space in this particular part of the pitch here. Now, this is something that Rennes exploited really, really well for their first goal. And it's basically down to the fact that Messi is not an energetic presser. Now, it is worth noting that Neymar has actually really upped his work rate defensively of late and has been quite impressive in that. Di Maria definitely is a dedicated and hard-working attacking midfielder. So they've got no real problems in this second line. It's when the first line is breached, that creates disruption in their overall defensive shape, and teams find it really easy to exploit that. There's another issue as well that Rennes exploited for their second goal. If the ball then ends up sort of in this kind of area with this player here, for example, what PSG are having to do is fall back quite deep in order to defend this area. And that makes sense. But if they fall back too deep, like this, all of a sudden you've got a massive space here, because what's not happening is your number 10 is not dropping off to start covering this sort of defensive area. So even if these guys are doing their job, as they generally speaking are, you're still leaving a gap in front of the box. And what Rennes were able to do was get down here, pull the ball back like this, and find a shooting opportunity from the edge of the box from which they scored. So basically, Messi's lack of energy and lack of pressing, which is not otherwise compensated for in quite the same way because PSG aren't always able to play such a high line. Verratti's position is slightly compromised because he's trying to be a defensive anchor and not press too high up. It's opening up space in other areas of the pitch. And this is causing PSG defensive problems. Now, obviously, go back to the point that I made at the beginning, these are three phenomenal footballers in the world's top 5, no question. And there is going to be a perception that they will click ultimately, particularly the relationship between Messi and Neymar will blossom. Mbappe will either feel his way through that or maybe feel a little bit excluded. That's something that'll play out from a kind of personality perspective. But Mauricio Pochettino's got a real job on his hands working out exactly how to balance the brilliance of this potential attacking lineup with the way that he does his system otherwise. Now that might seem that he goes back to like a more of a 4-3-3. You then lose maybe Angel Di Maria, but you have that greater degree of solidity in midfield, a little bit like Liverpool were doing a couple of seasons back. It may be that he rotates through the front three and sees things on a game-by-game basis. But the problem that he really faces is he needs to sort this out before PSG get through to the latter stages of the Champions League. And on a match-by-match basis, a lot of the teams in Liga, even though Rennes beat them and Lyon looked good against them, a lot of the other teams are not necessarily going to give them the kind of tough tactical examination that those latter stages of the Champions League fixtures will do. And Pochettino needs to sort out how to get the best from Messi, Neymar and Mbappe before he gets to that stage. Or possibly he even risks not being able to get there at all. Thanks very much. This has been Tifo IRL. I'm Alex. If you like what we're doing here, then please do subscribe to the videos, check out all of the other tactical stuff we've done. JJ's done a great video on how Messi scored his first goal for PSG that looks at some of these things as well. So please go through what we've done previously and have a look, and I'll see you again soon.
If you like this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. The Athletic brings you the best sports journalism in the world in a personalised experience, connecting you with the stories and teams that you care about the most. There's coverage of 13 sports, plus direct access to world-class journalists through live Q&As, discussions and podcasts. Not to mention, it's all ad-free. And you can try it now for free for 30 days by clicking the link in the description.